Red Sparrow is directed by Francis Lawrence and stars Jennifer Lawrence and Joel Edgerton, Jeremy Irons, amongst a lot of people. And this movie is about a ballerina named Dominica, played by Jennifer Lawrence, suddenly recruited into this group called the Sparrows, which is this group of people who are essentially agents who seduce the targets who are picked, who may be against the state of Russia, find out what information they have, report it to the state, and find a way to get the targets eliminated, and that's their job. And so suddenly she's involved in this tangled web where politics of both sides are clashing between each other, the US and Russia, of course. Things are very complicated because this is not exactly the life she wants. Francis Lawrence has directed Jennifer Lawrence before in 3 of the Hunger Games movies, which I think 2 of those were solid movies. One of them was alright, Mockingjay Part 1. I think that if given the chance, Jennifer Lawrence can do really well with the kind of script that she has. And in this movie, one of the biggest positives I have for it, in fact, may be the biggest positive, is Jennifer Lawrence. This is one of her better performances. I really loved her in this movie. She did a very daring job here because there are certain things Dominica has to do throughout this film which were very, to say the least, awkward and very surreal at points. Like, you've never really seen Jennifer Lawrence like this before. It's funny seeing these scenes in a time where people are probably going to get very offended by it. Now look, I'm all for certain things, but the film does things over here. Is there certain scenes in this movie that are just like, wow, if you managed to pass this through with an audience, amazing. I heard in some places people walked out of screenings, and I wouldn't be surprised. The film does have some very disturbing scenes, which will likely get people having certain thoughts and certain opinions towards the film. Joel Edgerton I thought was really good here as well, and I think he had a very interesting character to him. The cinematography in this movie is luscious. It's a gorgeous looking movie. There are so many great wide shots and so many nice ways of the colors. I mean, it's a beautiful looking movie. The score by James Newton Howard is phenomenal. I love it. I can't wait to listen to it whenever it comes out on digital or whenever I'm gonna have that thing playing. I love it. I think this is one of his better scores in years. I think Francis Lawrence's direction in this film is also really great. It's a very gutsy direction. And some of the things in this movie are directed in a really great way, in a very intriguing way, in a very intense way. And there's a lot of positives like that I can point out, and I think they're really great. And like I said, because of some of the thematic material, it's definitely very gutsy to make a film like this nowadays. That said, the film is a bit of a mixed bag in terms of the storytelling, because this film for the longest time keeps you really off base. The first 10 to 15 minutes of this movie, I would say some of the best in terms of like an opening I've seen this year so far. But as the film progresses, there are some pacing issues, there are some tonal issues, but more than anything, it's a slow burn film. And I think that can have 2 effects whenever it comes to any slow burn film. You want to make sure that the payoff is a certain, kind, or there's slow burns that lead up to very little. And for me, Red Sparrow is a bit of both. It's not until the very end of the film that you really get a proper grasp of where the film was going. And sometimes that can work, but like I said, in this film, because it's slow paced, because it's constantly building and it's constantly keeping you in the dark about certain things, you're not often with the film at times, and it becomes, in a word, kind of frustrating to watch. There's so many cogs turning until you're kind of like losing count. It's like, wait, go back here, wait, what is that again? What is that again? And the film gets very confusing at points like that. That's not the reason I didn't, like it. I think the reason is that while it is also confusing, I don't understand the decision behind really keeping the audience out of the element for the longest time, because you want to be invested in a film. If you're not going to bring the audience in at any point, the slow burn tactic doesn't work so well. You have to have these big payoff moments every now and then. This is what the movie also suffers in, because sometimes there are these very big things brought up and it's like, oh my god, what's gonna happen? And then suddenly the payoff for it is not as big as you think it is. Like, it builds it up as this huge thing, but it just kind of is a very little thing. And that was also really strange, because it was as if it's trying to say that, oh, in real life, not everything's like a Bond reveal or something. I get that idea, maybe that's what they were going for, but there were better ways to go about it. I feel like over here it kind of backfired on them. Red Sparrow is not a great movie by any means, But it's solid. It's a solid movie. You can watch it. You can enjoy it. There's a lot to like over here. But like I said, the storytelling and the way the pacing is, and it's a bit long too. All of those things come together at points and they really hindered the movie as a whole. Until, like I said, the final few minutes of the film where it's like, yes, this is what we were building towards. But again, it's like too little too late in a way. I'm gonna give Red Sparrow a 7 out of 10. Not a bad movie, and I know that some people are gonna have some problems with this film, but I think it's very interesting that more movies like this are coming out where certain risks are taken in storytelling, and I do praise them. Guys, thank you so much as always for watching. Do look forward to more reviews very soon. If you like this, please do subscribe, and I'll see you guys at the movies.